And we'll dive right into it. Hey, everybody, good evening. Welcome to our team call tonight. My name is James. This is Audrey. And if this is your first team call or you are watching the recording, we are so fired up and we're so excited for where Isagenix is right now and where Freedom Living Team is right now, positioned perfectly, I believe, for this wave, this storm of opportunity, the explosion, we'll use some firework puns tonight, of opportunity that is just really here. And, you know, to kick it off, I really wanted to, we were just talking about the 4th of July, it's July 4th weekend, and it's all about, you know, independence and freedom. And that's kind of what everybody's, you know, talking about. And there were so many times throughout this weekend where I was just reflecting of how in our Isagenix business, we get to express our independence and our freedom. Every single day we choose to consume this nutrition. And when we share this with people and share the Isagenix story, you know, each one of us on this line are looking to build an income producing asset in some way, shape, or form. And what's so great is that every single one of us have a different life right now. We're all in different seasons. We all have different obligations and different responsibilities. But here at Isagenix, you can come in and say, okay, this is the amount of hours I have to devote to my little side hustle this week. And these are the activities that I am going to do. And you know what? Next week could look entirely different. Now, if you've been in Isagenix for a couple of months or a couple of years, that phrase, those words can seem very trivial and they can seem very, well, of course you can do that. It's network marketing. Of course you can do that. It's Isagenix. But may we be reminded this weekend of all weekends of Independence Day and where we get to really enjoy our freedoms, that here at Isagenix, you guys, we're with the best. And when that loses the gravity of really what it means, the independence and the freedom that we have here with Isagenix to have the compensation flowing in, if you're even cycling just one time a week, my goodness, talk about what a blessing that is. If you are able to work this, you know, 1 hour a day, either before or after work, in between juggling kids and errands or whatnot, what a gift that is. You don't have quotas. You don't have to do any of, you know, reporting or anything like that and answer to a boss. What a gift that is. And so I was just reflecting on that this weekend and you know, headed into Isagenix 2.0, this reinventing, this leveling up, this upgrading of what we're all pursuing right now. I think first and foremost, it's so important that we don't lose just how amazing it is what we have right now in terms of the capacity that we get to build, because there are many people that I've had conversations with who are also in the industry. And let me just tell you guys, the conversations are not the same. In different companies right now, the conversations just are not the same. Companies aren't up-leveling like Isagenix is up-leveling right now. Teams are not experiencing the type of growth that Freedom Living Team is experiencing right now. And I'm not saying that to say, oh, we're better than not. I'm just saying to appreciate what we have, because it is incredibly special. So I just wanted to start that off, because as we're all kind of concluding a weekend of reflecting, you know, I know we have team on the UK and whatnot, so they're not celebrating July 4th, obviously. But for those of us in the States, just reflecting on our freedom and independence, I think it's super important to reflect on that when it comes to, you know, even the freedom that maybe the nutrition has brought into your body and how your joints used to hurt. And now you know, we might take it for granted. So really, really grateful to be on this call with each and every single one of you and headed into the freedom that is ahead of us.
Yeah. So Isagenix 2.0 is going to be launched in 2 weeks at our global celebration, which is going to be online. There are many amazing leaders on Freedom Living Team who are hosting watch parties. And James and I are also going to have one here at my parents' home in the upper room. It doesn't matter which watch party you go to. If you have plans to go be with the
Watch
team.
with someone.
Watch with somebody. It doesn't matter. We just wanted to open up this place for anybody who doesn't have somebody to watch it with, can come and have an open space to do that here. So we wanted to extend that. James and I have been talking a lot about really how excited we are. And we were with Lane and Chelsea all day yesterday. And the topic of our conversation was really how expectant and how excited we are for the second half of this year. And really how blessed and fortunate that we feel to be a part of a company like Isagenix, specifically moving into the rebranding. And just like what James was saying, while a lot of companies are holding tightly. Isagenix is opening up their grip and they're expanding their reach, opening up into 12 to 13 new countries over all over the world, so that we can have a greater and expand our reach to be the most respected health and wellness company in the world. And so while we've been talking about this, we've talked a lot about how the times are just different right now. And while not many people right now are really not many people right now are really getting into like tons and tons of social settings, the connection of people is being desired even more than ever before. And so while we were talking about, Isagenix 2.0, the need of bringing to life and asking people to take a look at Isagenix has even heightened, because people are desiring more of opportunities to find essential ways to pay for bills. It's not just enough now to have an additional stream of income for fun. People are really, really suffering, and they're looking for a solution for their bills because times are just really different. And so when we're talking about Isagenix 2.0, what we also want to do is we also want to really focus on how to reach people with where they're at right now through the different platforms that we have to reach them. While not everybody is, connecting and hugging in person right now, there is a longing and a desiring for human connection, which is where each and every single one of us come into play when it comes to the art of connecting through your social platforms, through the people that you have in your phone contact list, through the people on your Facebook, through LinkedIn, if that's what you're using, through maybe even some of the random interactions that you're having, at grocery stores and whatnot. But there is a need, and it's essential right now, especially with the newfound energy that we are experiencing with Isagenix 2.0, for our antennas to really be up into saying, you know what? I really want to focus more on the art of connecting and being very intentional with making new connections and asking more people to take a look at Isagenix, because right now there is a rebranding, and it is a time right now where a lot of people are open. Their hearts are soft. They're really, really, really open to what network marketing and specifically Isagenix can be.
So in that, here's a couple of bullets. If you're taking notes, or if you're watching the recording and taking notes, you guys, what Isagenix has done the past 12 months is unbelievable. So when I'm talking to a new person right now, I like to list off a couple of things that Isagenix has done. When you're talking about building validation, when you're talking about building rapport or certainty, I say something along those of, listen, Isagenix is 18 years old. We've passed the acid test. We have 9 scientific peer-reviewed articles. Okay, so the first thing that I tell people is the company's 18 years old. Okay, that means that this isn't a startup that started last week. When we're having these conversations, you guys, especially right now because of what Isagenix is about to do to the whole nutritional world, having these kind of bullet points on the forefront of your brain to fire off is powerful, because people are looking for people who are certain, right? We've talked about that many times, that people want to follow certain people. So I say, listen, Isagenix is 18 years old. We have 9 different scientific peer-reviewed articles, most of them double-blind, some triple-blind studies, meaning there's no bias to them. We're open in 14 different countries. And in this past year alone, we've done $7 billion in cumulative sales. We're averaging about $1 billion a year right now. And in this past year, we've acquired another health and wellness company. We've introduced a product to market that has never been brought to market before in the form of BIA. It's disrupted, I believe, a $2 billion a year industry of energy drinks. It's the one of its kind. And we're expanding into 13 new countries this year. And we're about to press forward and progress the realm of nutritional science and do what no other nutritional company has ever done. So you look at somebody that is inquiring, that is open. Now you guys know how to qualify people. We're qualifying people by saying, hey, are you open? Are you open to taking a look? Are you open to taking a look? Aud and I talk about that all of the time when it comes to qualifying who you're talking to. And they say, okay, so why is it so good what you have? You guys, people don't acquire another company, introduce industry disrupting products, expand in 13 different countries, and do something that no other company has done nutritionally. Not only another company has done, but what nutritional science has never seen before when it comes to what your body's able to absorb in a year like this. It's unprecedented. This Isagenix is set up so perfectly for each and every one of your success. Now it's up to each one of us to do what? To open up our mouth and talk about it. First and foremost, to open up our mouth and eat it, right? But then to open up our mouth and talk about it. So when we're having these conversations, one, I would write down, and this is something I'm doing, I want prospects to get on Friday night of celebration because Eric Coover and Emily Vavra are going to be going, and it is going to be absolute fire. You want to talk about getting somebody an experience of what the vision of Isagenix 2.0 is going to be like. I would invite every prospect, past customer, inactive customer, product user, say, hey, if they're already in Isagenix, I would say, hey, listen, I know you're part of the Isagenix community. I know you've used the products in the past. Isagenix is doing a total rebrand and up-leveling every aspect of the company. I think you'd really love to take a look at it. It's happening on Friday night. And of course, and you tell them the times. And then of course, once they're fired up from Friday night, you say, listen, there's even more happening tomorrow. I want you to tune in with me. We can watch it together. Mm-hmm. Guys, there's so many people in your worlds right now that would love to be on Friday night and watch Eric Cooper and Emily Vavra just knock this thing out of the park because they think they know, right? The reason why people don't say yes to Isagenix is because they think they know, right? Oh, yeah. It's one of those shake things. I know. So what this is allowing us to do is reintroduce people to network marketing. It's allowing us to reintroduce people to what maybe a shake would be, or what a nutritional life, supplementation life would be, what a side hustle will be. We're getting to reintroduce people to an upgraded level and an upgraded experience of that. And so, when you're looking at, we're coming into the starting line right here with Isagenix 2.0. And so if you haven't really taken time to invite these people, I really strongly would encourage you to do that. And then others who you're having, conversations with, you guys, if you haven't sat down or sent them a message and shared with conviction, similar to what I just shared when it comes to what Isagenix has done in this past year, I'm just going to say they haven't got the full experience of what Isagenix really is and what Isagenix is really doing. Because what Isagenix is doing is causing so many people to turn their heads right now and go, oh my goodness. You know how so many people are talking about Tesla, and Tesla, if those of you who don't know, just became the most valuable car brand on the face of the planet. Now, gather this. Tesla produced 375,000 cars last year, okay? Tesla produced 375,000 cars compared to the previous number one, which was Toyota, who produced 1.2 million cars last year. So when you look at it, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Yeah. When you're looking at the connections, the conversations, your business, it's about a quality, not necessarily a quantity. And what Isagenix is doing, no, we're not a, $5 or $10 trillion business or organization right now, but we have the most quality, uncompromised products on the face of the planet, and nobody has beat us when it comes to the compensation plan. So again, we've talked about 2.0. We're not going to deviate from that. That's what this is about. But when you're having the conversations, I would have those 6, 7, however many I just named off. And I think that there was a comment about making a script available. I will absolutely make that script. I'll type it out and make it available so that when you're talking to people, you can just rattle that off, because then not only does that give them belief, but it gives them belief in you because you're carrying yourself as educated and informed and certain of what you and your business are going to do.
Right. And don't underestimate the power of your social media platform right now. Like, don't underestimate the power of sharing the stories. The most powerful posts that have come from me recently have been from sharing the stories of how Lane and Chelsea have earned over $100,000 in the calendar year last year, and how they're being, awarded at Celebration. The most powerful stories are Dom and Allie, who are making an additional $1,200 a month. The stories are coming from people like Kathy Waldrop, who are earning an extra $500 a week. I mean, don't underestimate the power of the connections that you can make on your social media platforms. Yes, it takes intentionality. I understand that. For the first time in my life being pregnant, I'm having to be a lot more intentional with focus than I ever have been before. But I understand what we're walking into, and I understand the severity and really the calling of getting this vision out into the world. So it does take a little bit more time to come up with a post celebrating team members, or coming up with a post talking about how grateful I am. I came up with a post a couple days ago talking about how grateful I am for residual income. Because in the first trimester of my pregnancy, I did not have the energy, the capacity that I once had for 7.5 years. And so what's happened is I took the time to write this post so that I can post it and be intentional with these new connections. What I do is I look at the back office to see what Gina is doing and what Caroline is doing, to highlight them and to show the success stories on my Instagram stories, whether it's from the physical, the nutritional standpoint of a before and after picture, to the financial of a little bit of income, of an extra $200 a month, all the way to Lane and Chelsea earning $100,000, and everything in between. And so while we're talking about this branding and this flow and this new wave that's coming, in your times of operation, or in the times that you get a thought or an idea, a thought of inspiration for something to share to the world on your platform regarding what's happened in your health, or regarding what's happened in your finances, or regarding what's happening to your team members' health and finances, take the time to write that out, because you do not know who is watching and whether or not that one post is going to kickstart and jumpstart somebody else into joining your organization and being part of Isagenix 2.0. So when we're talking about the new connections and we're talking about inviting people, the invitation comes, yes, with getting people on that Friday, but you're also revving up the engine every single day when you can be consistent on your platforms. It's not that I want to be on social media 24/7. I don't, and I'm not. But what I am is I am consistent to do something that just is slowly dripping on my audience and slowly praying into the post that I am posting, that it will fall on the ears and the eyes that need to see it and hear, so that that new connection can form and that new relationship can be built, so that maybe they'll come in and say, hey, this is the time for me to jumpstart my health and or my finances.
And one thing that I'll add to that that's been really, really standing out to me a lot in my own life is finding time every single day to either motivate yourself or inspire yourself. You guys know, those days where you wake up or in the middle of the afternoon and you're like, man, this is just an off day. Like my schedule's been kind of off. My focus is off. I'm not doing my normal routine. My conversations just seem a little bit flat. My convictions are not there. My energy's not there. I believe it's more important than ever that we take radical responsibility for our self-motivation. I know we have everybody on this line is motivated right now. So comment in the chats. I want to hear how do you motivate yourself on a daily basis? What are some things? Because there might be some people right now on this Sunday night that are struggling for some motivation. Maybe they're not excited to wake up tomorrow. What are some ways that you motivate yourself? If you're not feeling up for it, if you're like, man, today's not my day, do you go walk? Do you go work out? Do you call a friend? You got, pictures of Fiji, right? Gina, you got a contest. If you have something, if you have something you're running towards. I love these.
Reaching out to team members, taking nitro.
Listen, if you're ever lacking energy, just take a nice good swig of nitro, and that motivation will just kick you right there in the boot. But this is so important, because we can talk about the conviction, we can talk about the excitement, but if on a daily basis, we're not taking time to find motivation and inspiration in our own space and time, then how are we ever going to be able to translate and transfer that to anybody else?
Right.
When I feel unmotivated, or when I feel that my life is just kind of stagnant or slowing down, it's because I've neglected those activities that get me into what many people really understand when Tony Robbins talks about a peak state. When he's talking about, when you've just left a gym, you're feeling focused, you're feeling sharp, or you've woken up early, you've gone on a walk, you've listened to a podcast, you've read, you've prayed, you've journaled. Those are all very important things, as there's a lot of, most people that I've talked to, they said really the hardest thing about what's taken place the past 3 to 4 months is just the change of schedule. My regimen's different. I'm either at home too much, or I'm not doing what I normally do. And so in that's just a little side note, that going into this next week, whatever that is, whether that's, you're like, hey, I really don't necessarily love walking. It's not necessarily my favorite activity, but I always find that I'm clearer, I'm sharper, and those negative, just gross thoughts are just not present after I've gone on a walk around the block. Go on a walk around the block. Your brain is going to thank you for it. Your body's going to thank you for it. And then your activity and your action that's going to stem from that is going to be so much more productive, and your state of energy is going to be so much higher. And really, it's going to be less effort, because you're going to be operating from this high place than if you would have skipped it to do more, productive stuff or things of that nature. So do you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Not to that, no.
Okay, well, you can change the subject then.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, guys, when we go into celebration and there's this fire and us talking about new connections, immediately following that on Tuesday, the immediate Tuesday afterwards, here in Knoxville, we are having an opportunity overview at the Taylor's house that they opened up for everybody. So we're getting into action immediately. And for those of you who are in Nashville or North Carolina or Atlanta or the UK or anywhere else that you're in, if it's Kansas City, wherever you are, we encourage you to get into action immediately. Open up your home. Do something to bring new people into your world so that you can share the energy and the excitement of Isagenix. One other thing that James and I are going to implement, and we're going to put this on a calendar, is we are going to become regular in virtual overviews. So we're going to get together a calendar, and we're going to do a virtual overview, just a 20-minute virtual overview once a week. After celebration, it's going to be after the initial in-person overview, so that everybody who's all over the world, wherever you are, and all of these new connections, that they can get plugged into something immediately and experience the energy via face-to-face, through Zoom. So we want you guys to know and to be expectant that when we're talking about these new connections, James and I really understand the severity of really asking people to take a look and doing it in a concise manner and having things that are readily available. So we're going to make that calendar. We're going to post it in Freedom Living Team Business so that wherever your prospects are, three-way phone calls, continue doing them, keep showing the tools, keep doing that. But we're going to have these once a week, so you can bring people on, and even some of your product users who have been using Isagenix for a while, and maybe the timing in their life is different, that you can plug them into this, that they can hear the stories. All of the testimonies are going to be from people on Freedom Living Team. They're going to be from, everybody on Freedom Living Team. It's going to be your guys' before and after pictures and your financial success stories, because we want your team and your prospects to see your face on these Zoom calls.
So we've talked about that. We've done that in the past, but you guys, just times are changing, and it's time to give people simplicity and ease when you're driving home from work. This is not going to be an hour overview. It's going to be 20 minutes. It's going to be hot. It's going to be quick. It's going to give them enough to say, yes, I want to know more, or no, this isn't really my thing right now. And so what that is going to allow us to do is going to just bring so many more people in, like Odd was saying, that aren't maybe local to where even you are, but they can all plug into one resource, and we can just experience so much more growth and unity through those calls.
Well, and Danny just started doing virtual opportunity overviews last week for her entire team, and she sent us a video, and it was packed out, and it was just energy and energetically, and even some of her team members who joined that call that didn't necessarily have a prospect on there, they left more encouraged because of that call with a grander and a deeper vision. And that's what we're going to. All of these, these Zoom calls and things that we offer and we provide to extend and to open up the vision is to continue to ignite that vision and that belief deeper within your soul, deeper within you, that you would know that you've got what it takes. And guys, this, we talk about this. This isn't an overnight success type of business model. I mean, I look at someone like Gina Passy, who is one of our newest Crystal executives, and her journey is remarkable. The 2+ years that she's been enrolled by Lane and Chelsea, she has been on this journey. And we see what she's doing now, and it takes time. And that is what these overviews are really designed to be for new people, for previous customers, for your new customers, and for all of us to get invigorated by being around one another with like-minded individuals with one heart and one vision moving forward.
So, anybody fired up? Anybody need some motivation? I don't. I'm sweating right now through my shirt. Wish you guys could feel it. It's great.
Lane's like, great.
Lane's like, that's a weird thing to say. So with that, you guys, we're going to conclude. But I hope that your fire for Isagenix has grown. I hope you have trouble sleeping because of how excited you are for 2.0. You guys, this company is just getting started. We are actually going to be, all of us on this call, we are creating the future for network marketing. We are creating the story of how people perceive, how people look at, how people interact with network marketers. You on this line right now, that's who you are. That's the impact that you have. And this time right now is so special. It's so important. And we all get to be on this call, a part of it. You haven't missed it. You have not missed it. So, stay plugged in. Keep shouting out your transformation photos. All these people that are doing 11-day shreds, 30-day shreds, and these before and afters are incredible. We have the best nutrition on the planet.
And keep sharing on your platform success stories from not just you. Share your success story, but share other people's success stories as well. Being intentional with that does drive more customers into your organization. So,
and then like Gina just said, invite people to Friday night, day one of celebration. It's going to be an absolute awesome experience for them to see what 2.0 is all about. So Love you guys. We're excited. Happy Independence Day weekend. And we are excited for another week and another week closer to Isagenix 2.0 and headed into more freedom. So have a wonderful night, everybody.
Bye.